That's a good question. I've been thinking about it more. I suppose you wouldn't truly know if you were just thrown on an island somewhere. Um, yeah, you wouldn't know. The question is, can you figure it out if you were thrown on an island somewhere? According to the heavenly calendar, can you know if you were thrown on an island somewhere? Well, if it's all based off of it, then you could figure it out. Um, I don't know what to say. That's such a massive deception if it's true. Basically, I don't know where all that history came from, and every time it says Saturn or something, it would have to be replaced with Sabbath. But then I don't know if that would fix all the history on it. You know, is it really talking about the Sabbath versus whatever Sunday, Saturday, um, and not Saturn? um, I acknowledge the feast days as timed with the moon, first new moon of the month in spring. Should land after spring equinox every time, otherwise it's not spring. First new moon after spring equinox. Simple. First new moon after fall equinox, which was September like 22nd this year. It's already passed. And the new moon is October 2nd. It's October 2nd, so it's almost a new moon or a full moon. But I I kind of think the new moon is a full moon, and it makes sense. They even call this new moon or this moon, full moon, as the first fall month or moon, moon of harvest. Just a quick Google search strangely says that too, which is just lining up with what would be the seventh month on the creator's calendar, the first day of the seventh month, if it's on the full moon, which tonight it's like an orange kind of looking. I don't know if it's going to be like that the next day or two also. If that signifies something. Moon of harvest, which would be Feast of Trumpets, first day of the seventh month. A black conjunction moon doesn't make sense, and a sliver doesn't make sense as the new moon. Maybe that's deception too, that they changed the new moon from full to conjunction, darkness backwards. That wouldn't shock me, would it? No, it wouldn't. It shouldn't shock you too, or you either, that they called good evil and evil good, and they called darkness light and they call light darkness. That they would be doing that with the moon too, the creation, by saying a new moon is in darkness, when I think there's enough evidence in scripture that the 14th day or 15th, somewhere around there, of the month was darkness, and the moon was dark, it was eclipsed, the sun went black, but the moon was already black, and it was darkness in the middle of the day when he died. And it was most likely, and it had to be darkness. If it was dark when he died, and the sun, the solar eclipse, and the sun went black in the middle of the day, and then the moon was black, well, then you got your darkness. This would have been the same month for Israel, 14th day of the month, and their Exodus or whatever. It would have been in darkness at night from conjunction, and then the light grows from there, and he leads them and gives them pillar of light, pillar of fire. which means the first day has to be a full moon. If the 14th, 15th is darkness, right? Scriptures seem to support the dark conjunction moon on the 14th, 15th, not a full moon. Well, the whole world doesn't think you have to keep his commandments, so this isn't important for like 99% of humanity or more. This isn't important for 99% of churchianity. But if the seventh day is actually based on the moon, then nobody can work a normal job. They made you worship the beast, pretty much. You acknowledge their deities, their calendar, their system, and you offer yourself as a sacrifice spiritually to them by saying, I hand myself over to your beast system and your calendar and everything. Makes sense. It would be a great deception, wouldn't it? Greater than most people think. Mark of the beast, mark of the beast. Well, maybe the mark of the beast is that everyone that doesn't follow the true calendar is automatically worshiping the beast spiritually, you know? Because they don't acknowledge his commandments, they don't acknowledge his calendar, they don't acknowledge his creation, his truth. I don't have that all figured out, but there is some kind of logic to it, I guess. What's making me think more about it is that there's three kind of days. And there seems to be some kind of evidence for that. There's work days, there's Sabbath days, and then there's new moon days. So with this calendar we have currently, there's only work days and there's only non-work days, you know, Sabbath, supposedly Saturday or whatever. Where's the new moon days then? I guess they don't exist. So if you acknowledge three kinds of days, that means the calendar is all wrong, all of it, 100%. And it's not glaringly obvious when you read. The only way you could come to this understanding is if you were digging for truth, then he would show you. But I guess it would filter out everyone that doesn't really care about truth. I don't know. I suppose so. All your truth, all your everything you say would be pretty much in vain at the end of the day if you still worship the beast and still acknowledge their system, their calendar, and slave away for their money and their toys, I guess. But if it's as bad as that, man, that's pretty bad. That means they forced the whole entire world they fixed it so you have to break at least some of his commandments. If you just acknowledge the calendar, you break his commandments, period. If you acknowledge I'm assuming the seventh day is based on the first day of the month, which is the first day of the new moon. If that's true, then just by going to work every week, you acknowledge that you'll break his commandments every week of every day or every month of every year. That's pretty significant. You would never be able to keep it. It sure adds some more meaning to Satan deceives the whole world. Like, I guess literally 99.99999, well, I guess 100%, everyone was deceived. But then a few people come out of the deception. Otherwise, the whole world is deceived at all times. And just by going to work every week, you worship the beast spiritually. You pledge your allegiance to the beast and its system. Even if you expose it, even if you say it's lies and all this stuff, you still are on its side by breaking his commandments. Now that would be pretty crafty, pretty clever. The just the calendar truth alone, that would be pretty snakish. Um, that doesn't leave a lot, very many people with that have truth. I mean, it leaves everyone as deceived then. Because if that is the truth, then every 7 days is not, Saturday wouldn't be the Sabbath if it was based on the moon, time appointed by it. It's definitely an interesting division, or like a spiritual war between I could see it myself, people who acknowledge like Saturday and people who say it's the seventh day according to the appointment of the moon, which is not Saturday automatically. It would only line up like once a year or 1 month out of the year or something like that. Which, if that's true, then that would be the greatest deception that I know of then. The calendar deception. I can't think of a greater deception, because forget what you live on, spinning globe deception. Okay, that's great. Earth's not a globe, but what's a greater deception? That, or the fact that if you work a normal work week on this calendar, you break his commandments every week, out of every month, out of every year, just by acknowledging the calendar. That's a serious deception. If the lunar Sabbath is true, and maybe that's why people hate it so much, because they don't, want it to be true, I guess. I don't know. Why would you want it to be true? That's too much for most people. But for the average churchgoer, just the little baby truth is too much. This is another level of this. Would, if somebody's mind could blow, I mean, this would do it. This would blow someone's mind, and it would be all over the wall that they duped us so bad that the seventh-day Sabbath is not even Saturday or Sunday, that it's the seventh day according to his calendar, which is timed with a new moon. And another deception would be is if the new moon is full, if that's the true new moon, and people are using the darkness, the black conjunction, and then plus like a little sliver, that would be another deception. So it's like everywhere you turn, it's deception after deception, because not all of those things could be true. There's only one truth. Whatever the truth is, there's only one. There's not, you can't say the full moon is a new moon and the conjunction is a new moon and the sliver is a new moon and Saturday is the seventh day and Sunday is the seventh. You know what I'm saying? There's like, why is there so many divisions on just this one truth, the seventh day? It's pretty interesting. It must be a pretty special day then, if there's that much division over it. The spirit of Antichrist must not like it very much. People who find out that, and try to keep that, they will be attacked, I guess. I just don't have it figured out fully, though. I don't understand it fully. I understand it to some level, what they're saying. Every seventh day on after a new moon, and then it's on the seventh day, and then a new moon interrupts the end of the month, and that they say that's separate from a Sabbath day, and a new moon day are two different things. And then there's work day, so they claim there's three different things: work day, seventh day, new moon day. And the new moon can never land on a work day, nor can the seventh day ever land on the work day, because the only way for that to be true, if that's the truth, is if that calendar is true. Because any other calendar, the new moon would land on whatever day it wants, the seventh day would land on whatever day it wants, work days would land whatever day, you know. So there is some kind of logic and order in the lunar Sabbath. So, and I found all his truth have logic and order to it. So if that's, I haven't seen a good explanation on how the days are counted and stuff. I'm not sure what they do, because the claim by people who say it's false say that they're all divided about what to do with these days, extra days between the months. And I don't like that. If that's true, that's weird to me. There shouldn't be confusion about, it should be simple. It can't be that complicated. But I'm still going to look into it. You know, you would think the people that believe that are all in agreement, but they're not. Then there's some that say it's the 7th, 21st, and, you know, there's divisions within that thing too. So there's divisions upon divisions upon divisions everywhere. Who knows what's true is kind of what it appears to be. With all that division, it's like, what's going on? If everybody was on board 100% and they're all saying the same thing, okay, that's, you know, that's something. But then there's divisions between, apparently, unless that's not really true, unless they're just making that up, that there's divisions. I don't know. I haven't searched into it enough. I don't know the online world that, you know, I can't pump information. I can only pump enough, you know, so much in my mind just by reading what people think in a day. I can't. It would be nice if I could download the internet in my mind in one day, so I don't have to keep reading what people say and what they think. But the question that bothers me, and I think it's a fair enough question, is how do you know what the seventh day is if you didn't even like have a calendar? Like if you were, I guess, on an island or something, how do you know what day any day is? Could you figure it out? All the people in the world that go by this calendar, the answer is no, you couldn't figure it out. No way. But if you were tuned to our creators, the heavenly bodies, then you could figure it out. And you could figure out what day of the month it is eventually, you know. And you could figure out the seventh day by just counting once you figured out the first day. And then you just go from there. But with the Gregorian calendar, you can't do that. The biggest thing that bothers me is that what did they do with all that history information? They changed the word from Saturn to Sabbath, or Sabbath to Saturn. Is that all they had to do? Would that make everything make sense? They were angry at people that kept a Sabbath day, not Saturn day specifically, because I don't know, I don't know how you would pull that off. I think I made a video the other day. Like, I don't believe anyone went and landed on the moon and stuck a flag on it, but this is another level. Like, I can't see how they did that. It definitely doesn't make sense to get angry at believers keeping, let's just pretend it is Saturn day, angry at keeping a false day. It doesn't make sense. So either something's wrong with the text, or or it's just not true at all, the lunar Sabbath. But I don't want to throw it out in the garbage because I've never done that before. I always look at everything until I'm convinced. So obviously I'm not convinced yet. Either way. But it would be nice to be convinced. This is frustrating. I wish he would just come down and send an angel or something and just give me one word, you know. The seventh day is not Saturday. Thanks. Thank you. You saved me a lot of time, sweat, and blood spiritually from trying to find out the truth the best I can. You know, it would be nice. It'd be nice if I got a dream or something, a vision, but I don't know that that's going to happen. It could, I guess, but I haven't received it. I haven't received it on any other truth I've learned. I've had to actually put in the work, you know, not just sit in a chair and do nothing. I had to compare it to scripture and read and make sure it lines up perfectly. So this is really bothering me because I just want to know the truth. That's all. I could deal with the rest, but I can't deal with not knowing the truth for sure. Then I can't sleep at night. And it's not a joke. I literally can't sleep. I'd take some melatonin or something and knock myself out. And that's usually how it goes until I find out the truth, and then I get a little break until he puts something else in my mind. And then I study, and then I find out the truth, and then I get a little break. And now this seventh day thing is bothering me because there's so much division, man, and it's brutal. The people that expose that side they're lunatics and lunar Sabbath, and you know, and then the other side is saying, you guys worship the beast, you follow some stupid pagan calendar, and they're pretty authoritative on what they say. So there's like a war going on. But there's no war going on for somebody that goes to a church building on average, you know, every Sunday. There's no war. They just go to church, and man, they have it easy. I wish I was them, you know. Sometimes I wish I was ignorant and blind, but not really. But you know what I mean. They got the easiest life if they got food, shelter, enough money, you know, then they got it pretty easy. They got it made. But those who have it made in this life have got something coming. I know that. So his people don't have it made in this life. And that's been my life experience for the last few years. I haven't had it made. Everything I say is foul and bitter towards the other person, man. It's just they hate it. They hate it. So I'm careful because I understand, you know, that truth really bothers people. They don't want to hear it. So I have to be careful with this lunar Sabbath thing, because that would make me a hypocrite if I just stepped on it and said it's stupid and retarded and it's definitely not true without actually examining it. But is that something he would do? Because whoever wants to keep his commandments, they'll keep them. They want to do that. But then to keep the seventh day, you basically can't work a normal life job. And maybe that's what the Creator wants. I suppose that could be that you won't be able to have a normal, not even a remotely normal life if you actually keep the true Sabbath day and don't worship some calendar that's created by the beast, like we read in Daniel, the fourth beast, Rome, of which we're still clearly attached to Egypt, the Romans, and Babylonians. America's like to me, it's the greatest it's the greatest pagan nation that there ever was or will be, I think, you know. It's the ultimate creation of man, the perfect combination of sin and pagan, and the most deceitful nation that there ever was, especially if this lunar Sabbath thing is true. I could say that without any problems at all. Find me a greater deception if that's the truth, assuming it's true. I can't think of a greater deception. Like even burning people alive in fire with no end. I mean, I guess that's pretty, I don't know, that's pretty big, but this is even greater, I think. This is even bigger than that. I mean, I'm not saying it's more evil, but I think the deception, the craftiness, if this is true, is greater than burning people in fire with no end, you know, for no redeeming value, for no purpose. They just are tormented with no end. And apparently people in heaven rejoice over that, or something like that is the teaching. I wouldn't be rejoicing because I'm not going to change radically of who I'm becoming now to resurrection. You know, oh, I'm new now. I love it that they're burning. I don't think so. that's evil, man. I hate that now, and it bothers me now. I'm going to hate it in the future. So then heaven would be hell, like I've said before. If that's true, then heaven would be hell. What else can I say on this video? Not much. I think that's it. I don't have anything on my phone. There's not a whole lot of scriptures that they use. There might be a couple pretty decent ones, but I don't know, that it kind of makes sense. You can't, how do you have a seventh day based on this calendar? It almost seems impossible. I wish the scriptures were more clear on it. You know, like a little more obvious. Like, okay, 6 days you work, 7th day you rest, and then you have another day in between the months. You know, some kind of explanation. Unless there's something in there that I don't know of, but I don't know of anything like that. A quick reading would seem like it's repeating, you know, and that's what it appears to be, but it doesn't necessarily, I guess, mean it's true. And I need to figure this out. What's today? I kind of need to figure this out pretty quick because I'm supposed to start a new job on like October 5th, I think. So that's like Monday, I think. Let's see, what is that? October 5th, Monday, Moon Day. So if I know this is true for sure, then I would willingly and knowingly go and take a job and then break pretend I'm doing right. Oh, I'll take Saturday off. You know, I know it's wrong though. No, I can't do that, man. I'm not that perverted. I either got to figure this out now and then say, sorry, catastrophe, you know, huge moment in my life. It can't come, make it sound like I'm sick or something, but not actually say I'm sick. But, you know, something crazy happened, you know. I can't work on your pagan week. I can't do it, man. I can't go against my conscience. Or start the job and then figure out this is true a little later and then say I'm going to quit, which is a lot harder to do than not start it. And it's not really fair to them to do that so quick. And then they ask you why. And then, well, you know, I got to keep the Sabbath day. They would think you're insane, but I don't have a problem with that. I know people think you're insane. Uh, they thought the Messiah was insane too, but that wouldn't be right though. It'd be better to not start it instead of start it and then quit. That would be a little better, I think. And then I don't know what I would do. I would have nothing to do, I guess, with this world at all. It would be maybe go on Craigslist and, you know, buy a chainsaw and cut somebody's bushes or something on days that I could. I guess I could do that, but I couldn't have a normal job if this is the truth. That's for sure. It would not a regular every week job. You can't do it unless they were to give you the days you say you want off every week of every month, and then say next month it's changing. But that seems I don't think they would do that. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't happen. I don't even know that I would want to do that. So I'm gonna end this video with a disappointing question mark of not knowing 100%.